Sorry, guys. Once again, poorly prepared for this, but I have got to get this set up real quick and set it up so it doesn't spin. There we go. That's better. Well, I decided since I did an Instagram, I may as well do a YouTube, Vinny. I just, so you guys don't know, I'm talking to Vinny. He just left my Instagram feed that I was doing, and since I have got a couple things to do, I was going to talk about strop maintenance because I had someone ask, and I don't remember who it was. What's up? I had somebody ask me. I'm doing good. I had somebody ask me, and I don't remember who it was. I can't find the comment now about how I clean off the stuff off my straps. So I just showed it on my YouTube, on my Instagram feed. On these balsa wood straps, I use a rag, and I just clean until I've got. I got better light this time though. I just clean it off until I've got all the old abrasive matrix off of this balsa wood. Now, the leather strop's different. This one needs cleaned up too. Leather strop is different, and it's loaded with chromium oxide, with the green chromium oxide. So what I'm going to do is, as soon as I find it, I will show you guys. I have, there's the chromium oxide. That's not supposed to be right there like that. That's not good. That's my template that I need to take with me. I have a knife that's in here for that purpose. Yeah, but that's not what I'm looking at. There it is. So what I do is I take the stuff I've got. The olive oil doesn't melt it, and the problem is if you put too much oil on it, then you can't get it to load again. I basically just take the knife and I scrape off the old, and then you can reload it. So this needed done anyway so that I could reload it. And you just basically just scrape it. But you got to be willing to give up the edge on whatever knife you're using. Good question. BD1 steel, any good? I was thinking about getting lightweight Manix too. Here's the thing. I hate making steel recommendations because the second
Mama called me ugly when it hurts.
When you make that face, it's not attractive.
I'm sorry. It's hard.
Okay, I got it. I'm doing it. I'm live on YouTube. Yeah. Turkey. When I start making steel recommendations, I always upset somebody. And it's, I say I don't like S30V, and Vinny loses his mind. I say it chips, and then he does a thing where he cuts a penny to show me it doesn't chip. However, I have had knives come in at S30 that is chipped, and as a matter of fact, this I had to resharpen today because when I did the scales on it, I noticed that it was chipped. Actually, I noticed it was chipped before, and then I just basically redid the edge on it today. I had touched it up on Elliot's sandpaper at the shop, and then finished it here at the house because it was chipped. So, if you can't get it to chip. Does that work on any strap using a dull blade? It depends on what you're loading it with. If you're loading it with if you're loading one of these, which is a balsa wood strap, you don't want to do it that way. Just a rag. Just use a old T-shirt. Just wipe off the balsa wood until it. This might get a little bit of oil. I have some neat's foot and I have some olive oil, but I have so much loaded in this. I mean, there's so much loaded in this thing. There's so much that I've gotten loaded on here because your strap compound breaks down. Um, and it breaks down, and I want to say breaks down, I don't mean it like, oh, it's getting bad. It loses its ability to maintain that sharp cutting that you want. And when it does that, then you no longer are getting what you want on your blade. So what I do is every time I do a knife on this, I put a new coat, and one side is, as you can see, this side is more polished, this side is more coarse. I sanded this side to give it more of a coarse for knives that really, really, really needed that kind of abrasive quality. Because certain steels would, before I had my balsa wood, I had this is split. It's, you can see it right there, shiny, coarse. Before I got these ones and started loading them with diamond, I would use this for knives that really needed some hard extra polishing and then finish it on this end. So it's double-ended. My pricing on ano jobs, it depends on the knife. Right now I'm looking at about to do a knife over all inclusive, like to take this apart, and it's not gonna show up, it's dark out here. This S35VN, yes. I was just saying, like, S35VN is hard to get to chip. So anyway, what I was saying is Semper knives. Right now I'm looking at about, to do an ano finish on it and everything like that, I'm looking at about $75. And I'm basing that price off what Chris Williamson is doing with knives that come into his shop for their, not spa treatment, but so basically for the Falcons, they have like this palette of things. You can order different options, and those are the options. Those are the options. You get this, and that's exactly what you get. You get a black blade. You can't pick any other options. You can't pick and choose from different value meals. You get this. That's it. And so he's charging for that. Now, I, on the other hand, will do some of that stuff that Chris doesn't want to do. I'll do some of I want a black blade, and I want an orange peeled back spacer, and I want one scale purple, and I want one scale. Hey, you pay me, I'll do it. Can I send you a Ferox to refinish? You're better off to let the fucking boys do it. I'm telling you right now. If it's one of their knives, unless you just don't want to wait, because stuff that comes in for warranty service on their stuff does wait. It does. It's not a lie. They really wish they could do it quicker, but it's only the two of them. I'm going to ask them if they want me to help do some of if it's just finishing stuff. I'm going to see if they want me to help. I mean, I'm getting good at it. But, you know, it's up to them. But if you just don't want to wait for that, I can do it for you. But like I said, I'm basing that price off what I'm seeing. Pricks don't answer. Don't call, motherfucker. You got to email them. It's Chris at Ferrum Forge. Don't email the info. It's Chris at ferrumforge.com. Try that one. Guaranteed. They answered after I told them to answer you, because they realized that you had sent it to, if you send it to info at Ferrum Forge, you're not going to get an answer. They don't read that. That was something when Joe was working there that Joe took care of. Joe doesn't work there anymore. Joe now works for Sony. You know? Chris at ferrumforge.com. Do you know a good way to clean lint out of a Benchmade Axis lock without taking it apart? Yeah, take it out to your garage, use the air compressor, flip it over, because that's how I clean 90% of my knives. The only reason I took this knife apart on my Instagram live feed, because it had something in the pivot, and I found what it was. It was just a little piece of grit that was on the blade, and it was like, you could feel the bearing, pink, 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 pink over it. I don't know who you're talking about. Talking about Robert Bodiger? My little Marine buddy? He has had some personal stuff going on, if that's who you're talking about. That strop has been reloaded and is ready for tomorrow. And you can still see where I have coarse and fine. So it's still easy to tell. You're not going to get it confused. Strop's fully loaded. It's better to do it when it's cold. Wait, what did Vinny say? Oh. What sound does air compressor make? It goes, psh, and then when you get it inside, it goes, psh, when you get down in the hole. Oh, you're talking about that douche nozzle that used to work there. Yeah, he doesn't work there anymore. And to tell you the truth, who gives a fuck what happened to that douchebag? I mean, the Pretium. Yeah, that was, he was Elliot's old business partner, and the guy was a piece of shit, and they basically told him, look, we'll pay you just not to be here anymore. We will. Basically, we want you to not be here. And so they dissolved the partnership. He's a piece of shit anyway, from everything I understand. Reminds me a lot of Paul Blazano. No, not Joe. Joe's a good guy. Everybody likes Joe. Douche nozzle, sir, I believe referred to as douche canoe. No, douche nozzle is the worst. The worst. Bird, would you please just go watch that shit Vinny sent you so you can shut the fuck up so I don't have to fucking put him in timeout? Please. Okay, okay. Yeah, I'll put you in timeout. My channel, I can do that shit. Watch, see? Here, let me show you. Here's how it works. I go on here and click on your thing and I see report remove, put user in timeout, hide user on this channel, or add as moderator. Joe doesn't work there anymore. Joe works at Sony. At the actual, Joe works for the PlayStation Store. Oh, hey, watch this, Vinny. Watch. You ready? Ready, Vinny? Watch what I'm about to do. All right, now, go ahead, Vinny, and log in. Now look at, make a comment and see what happens. Hey, you got a wrench. Timeout, 300 seconds. Now, all I have to do is I go back in and I do that. And now Vinny Nero is no longer a moderator. So now do it again. Now comment again, Vinny. Doesn't have to be anything big. Just give me a finger. Oh, you lost your wrench. Hang on, I'll give it back to you. Now you're a moderator. I told you I was going to do it. I figured out there was an easier way to do it. Sad. So, Vinny, now you're responsible for helping me find those fucking assholes that are abusive to other people on... Because now he's a moderator. I have 3. Pip, Corona, Nico, and now Vinny. But as a moderator, you do need to try and make sure that you're fully set up, that you get all of my notifications, and that you're able to go in and check the comments, because there's a guy in there that he flipped out about my Emerson video and kept calling me pussy and shit like that. And I was like, look, dude, my opinion. If you don't like it, don't watch the fucking video. And he wanted to keep calling me a pussy and all kinds of other offensive things. And I can always take it away, Bird. I mean, it's not that hard. It's beep, beep, there we go. Click on Vinny, and he's no longer a moderator. So, I am reloading my 1 micron. Well, I hope I did that right. Yeah, I did. That suck. Well, if I added a half micron to the 1, that would not be a problem. If I added the 1 micron to the half, then there's a problem. So anyway, I spray the thing until I get a good coat on it, and then I just rub it around. Vinny, you do know he's on here, right? It's kind of hard for him to watch a video if he's here. To make me put you in timeout. One day when you grow up, might be a moderator. I think he DM'd it to you on Instagram. So this is the 1 micron bottle. And this is the half micron bottle. As you can see, I use significantly more of the 1 micron. You guys can't see that, can you now? Than the half micron. Vinny, stop running people off from my video. I like having Bird here. That goddamn video would have been there when we got off of this. Have you guys heard that song? By Greenskeeper? Lotion? That's literally the lyrics. It puts the lotion on the skin, or it gets the hose again. That is the chorus. Matt, my friend Matt, had never heard it until 2 Fridays ago, up the Forge. Everybody had left, and I was working on some stuff with him, and so it was just the two of us, and we were listening to that. And he was like, "Oh my God, this is fucking insane." I was like, "Yeah, right." But like I said, after you load the balsa wood, you got to let them dry. It's best to do it at night because you can let them dry overnight, and then they're not going to get in the sun too much. Type of things to offer on my Patreon. I offer my unwavering friendship. I don't have anything I need to do. I want to do a couple of videos just on Patreon, but I ain't figured out how. And I don't think you can do it on your phone. Fancy glass, fancy whiskey. Oh, it smells so good. A pee-pee touch? Nah. Hoping for anything from ZT in 2018? Nah, I hadn't hoped anything from last year either. Anthony, you can pick whatever you want for Patreon. There's a $5 and a $10 option, I think, but I think you can go in and edit. I've got some people that give $1. I'm cool with that. I need to go through and give a shout out of all my Patreons. That's something I need to do. I had been offering, it's still on there. I had been offering a discount for sharpening service, but I'm going to take it down because it's just too unwieldy, because like I have to keep track of who the Patreons are and all that shit. I have been very disappointed with ZT for a little while now. I've been disappointed with everything that ZT has done for a while. They used to, and I don't mean that their designs are bad. It's the same knives, but the quality that I'm seeing come out of ZT has definitely, it's tanking a little. Christopher, you are on the wrong channel. This is not the Benchmade fanboy channel. I'm just kidding. I just don't like Benchmade. I used to. I used to like Benchmade knives a lot. And it's just gotten to where Benchmade is overpriced. They overcharge and underdeliver. Not to the extent of Emerson. I was listening to the Knife Nuts podcast, and they were talking about the Benchmade Anthem won some award, and they're like, I don't know if I can get it, you know? It's definitely rigged, and I was like, it has to be. And they were talking about the fact that that's a okay knife, but it's, you know, is it $420 okay? Abso-fucking-lutely not. It is not $420 worth of okay. There's. What'd you say, Bird? There's nearly 50 message requests in your Instagram. Well, you're popular, man. You got like 14,000 followers, bro. We'll see what it's like when I get to 14,000. How many? 17,000? How many followers do you have right now, Bird, on YouTube? Are you happy, Vinny? You got a wrench. Are you happy? Are you gonna shut the fuck up now? I got like 248 or something like that. Who, me? I don't ignore people. Or are you talking to Bird? Because I will put you back in timeout. don't say shit to Bird. Bird. That's not nice, Vinny. Not nice at all. Don't do that. Because I can. Yeah, it's the worst way to communicate. It really is. And if you do have, I mean, because what happens is you get bing, 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 and then you turn your notifications off, and then somebody sends you something and says you're an asshole. Because I don't check my direct messages, but about once a day, if that. I check my text. That's why I did. Like, I check my email once a day, once. 2248. Yeah, that's. It kind of peaked after the giveaway. No, I don't get notifications, and then I just check my likes and like who commented what on any of my posts, because I get a lot of fucking Instagram fucking message requests, a lot, all the time. I don't fucking care. It's like checking. I don't check my email. I check my email like once, maybe twice a day, and then I check my email. I mean, maybe once or twice a day, and so I'll wind up having like 6 emails, and somebody's like, "Dude, I sent you an email this morning." I was like, "I've said it in videos before. The reason my phone number is at the beginning of the videos is because I would prefer that you text me." And who was that? Nightwalker. My Instagram, Nightwalker, 2830, is the_Emler_Edge. That's my Instagram. And here's the thing. You guys do know that I do go in. Yeah, I could do a Graham Razel if you send it. Definitely could do a Graham Razel. It's nothing but just a modified, it's like a chisel, doing a chisel and then doing a flat edge. Anyway, if you guys have noticed, I might not answer Instagram DMs and I might not answer emails, but I always answer text messages, and I check and read and answer almost every YouTube post. Every YouTube comment gets read, not always answered. If it's like, I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna leave that one alone. I'm just gonna leave that one alone, because there's times that you just need to leave that shit be. Yes, my daughter speaks fluent Japanese. She translated stuff that I didn't. I mean, I speak pretty good Japanese, but she translated for me when my in-laws were here. She spends the whole summer every year in Japan with her cousins, and she's got, let's see, brother-in-law's got 2, sister-in-law's got 1, my other brother-in-law's got 2, other brother-in-law's got 3. She's got 8 cousins that come and visit all the time when she's there. My wife comes from a family of 4, so that's why if you watch my YouTube videos of us on vacation in Japan a couple years ago, and we have that big party, that's all family. And there was a whole half of the family that didn't even come. There was a wife and 2 daughters that didn't come. And there was still like 19 or 20 people at that get-together. My brother-in-law paid for it. Hey, Vinny. Jealous? So yes, my daughter does speak Japanese. Tickets are expensive. I haven't gone back for. Yes, my daughter's interested, and I brought this Sabenza that I did the Statue of Liberty on. I was like, "Hey, Isabel, look what I did," and she was sitting reading a book, and she looked at it, and she grabbed it, she held it, and just took it from me. I was like, "No, that's not yours. It's not yours." The little turd would have taken it. If I hadn't taken it back, I would have never seen it again. I do know how to do a cracked ice, and I don't want to. It's attractive, but it's a lot of work, and that definitely would be additional cost. I can do rock pattern and stuff like that on my knives. That cracked ice is something you got to be real specific with, and you use a Dremel tool with a small cutoff wheel. You just so that's how they do it. That's how a lot of people do it. Is I'm not exactly sure how Todd Begg does it, but what they do is they use a small cutoff wheel or a small bit on a Dremel and just keep touching it to the spine at different angles and things like that, and it just gives it that cracked look, that cracked finish. Yeah, it pretty much is, and it's more random, and it gets spun around and stuff like that. So I'm answering questions. So for you guys that log in later, I'm sorry, I'm not doing the reading each question. I try to sometimes. It takes too much time. I would much rather just have this be an interaction between us. It stays up, and the only reason I leave it up, I'm not gonna lie to you, is it makes me money on YouTube. I'm not even fucking. Most of you guys like me because I'm fucking honest. I'm dead honest about stuff. That's the only reason the live feeds stay up. They generate revenue on my YouTube channel. And the more content I put up, the more hits I get, the more it gets spread out, the more it gets seen, the larger the following, the easier it's going to be for me to promote the things that I do. What was that? Somebody asked here, okay, have you ever seen work from Donwin Knives? No, I don't think I have. I may have. I've seen a lot of shit. That doesn't mean, just because I say I haven't, doesn't mean I haven't seen it. Maybe if he was at the California Custom Show, he's probably in video if I wasn't high enough that I forgot to flip it to video. Nope, the guy I was thinking of was from Hawaii, and he was in fact a Japanese guy from Hawaii. There were some Japanese dudes there, and I forget how I look sometimes. I do stuff and I forget how I look. I'm wearing this hat, a cowboy shirt, beat up jeans, belt buckle, cowboy boots. I was wearing like a Rock 47 Bull Rider shirt or Bronx shirt. And so I walk up and I see these guys and I hear them speaking Japanese. And I asked them about their knives, and I did it in Japanese. Nico was there, and the guys looked at each other. They were like, what the fuck? The guy looked at me and goes, you speak Japanese? I was like, yeah. So we started talking about the knives. We started talking about them Japanese, and they were a Japanese style, like a Higo no Kami style blade. And I was talking to them about, these guys were like, you see it, they're like, fuck, you believe this shit? Look at this fucking back-ass hillbilly. The motherfucker speaks Japanese, and it was funny. And I went by their table like 3 or 4 times, and I think they got a kick out of it. It was, yeah. So they spoke pretty good English, but I was talking to them in Japanese. I like close to. Wait, slow down. Vinny said I like close to spell the last name, but wrong 100%. Nick Cheaper and spell the name 100%. I would highly recommend checking him out. He makes some of the most insane handles. Oh, okay. Mike Nguyen. I do know of Mike Nguyen. This is so sharp now. I had to sharpen it. It was dull. I should tell you, I have to sharpen this about once a month. It gets carried and used enough that I have to sharpen this about once a month, and it's 20 CV. So people that say that I don't use I had some guy comment and was like, you don't use your fucking knives. I see how you use your knives. You put your knives in the safe. And I was like, motherfucker, I use this one to scrape battery terminals on a tractor in Ohio. Okay, wait. So somebody asked, so what was this? A question isn't getting asked earlier today. Ace Heartless, question isn't getting to ask earlier today. Okay. Bird Sawyer, funky videos. Okay, Ace Heartless, what was your question? I didn't see it. If you asked it earlier today, I probably didn't see it. I was actually sharpening. Right now, I'm actually answering questions. It's just because they were doing my daughter's stretching, and it's horrendous, and I don't want to fucking be in there. I'm curious. I've dropped the F-bomb in this one a few times. I'm curious as to see if this one gets monetized or not. Ace, I'm waiting. I ain't gonna wait all day though. Come on, Ace. Come on, Ace. Come on with the question, Ace. Is Tough Glide a good anti-corrosion for blades? It is, but you know what? I would prefer Tough Glide. Tough Glide is a dry lube. Tough Glide is a dry lube, a lot like Rem Oil. I use Rem Oil on automatics, out the fronts, OTFs, Microtex, things like that. It's dry lube. It leaves a layer of Teflon. It's not going to be, I'm just kidding, Ace. It's not going to be as effective as some of your other stuff. If I have a knife, like I did that knife in 4V earlier today, I used this the day before. I had started it the day before, and I just did disassembly on this on Instagram. I will do a Ferrum Forge disassembly video. But when I finished that knife, before I brought it over to Chris, so that I made sure, this is really good corrosion protection. It's TW25 Bravo. It's a synthetic lubricant. It's really good for that. And the video is going to be demonetized. I don't like Frog Lube. I don't like a lot of the other stuff. I like the nano oil. If it's something like AUSA 8. You know why, Vinny? I know exactly why. It's the same reason Ferrum Forge knives are difficult-ish to take apart. It's an IQ test. And I'm not saying it to be a smartass. It truly is. If you're smart enough to get that knife apart, I've taken a couple mini Typhoons apart. It's not graphite. Tough Glide does not leave graphite. It is... Yeah, Ferrum Forge is not that hard. Here's the thing. That mini Typhoon is milled so tightly. I'm going to tell you a secret. Send it to me. Not joking. I know how to take them apart. There's actually a chuck, a drill chuck from an old drill. And to get the pins out of bird shots, I put it on the pin, cranked it down, and still, it took me probably an hour to get that knife apart. Once you get it apart once or twice, it loosens up a little bit. And so I had less trouble getting birds taken apart and put back together. I mean, you can use any lubricant you want. It's how often do you want to have to apply it. I put a drop of nano oil on this the last time I cleaned it up real good, and that's probably been 3-4 months ago. Actually, no, the last time I got oiled was last time I got oiled was when I broke the pocket clip off and Chris and Elliot took it apart, fixed it because there were some other issues with it. I hate Frog Lube because it gets down to your pivot and then it gets sticky and gummy and it stinks. I mean, I'm not saying anything about it being down to the pivot. It just stinks. Nano oil seems to work and last really well for a long time. I mean, but it depends what oil you. Somebody just asked me that earlier. It does not say food safe. Nano oil is food safe. Nano oil is food safe, and this says on it, it is non-toxic, non-flammable, and environmentally safe. But it does not say anything about being food safe. As a matter of fact, it says on it, caution, avoid ingestion, inhalation, and eye contact. I use this TW25 Bravo on my Sebenza, and it seems to work way better than the fluorinated grease did. It gets in there, it sticks into the pivot, and I put it on there, and then like immediately it was like, ooh, smooth, really smooth. My detent needs something on it though, because I did refinish this, which means that I took acetone and cleaned this up real good. You just cut yourself. You're a moderator on my channel, and you just cut yourself. I can't say anything. I cut myself with that fucking SM100 Stinger the other day. Just touched it, and I was like, oh, hey, that cut me. You guys remember that? the thing about the TW25 Bravo, if you're going to use it, you have to clean everything and acetone it. Use some solvent that, like a rapid dry solvent, a dry cleaning solvent like acetone, denatured alcohol, rubbing alcohol. Take all the other grease, take any other grease off, because if you mix it with a solvent-based grease, it breaks down. Because that is a non-petroleum, TW25 Bravo is a non-petroleum based lubricant. It's still really, it doesn't wash off, it sticks and all that stuff. I haven't sharpened a recurve in a while. And yes, I do cut myself every time I sharpen a recurve. Every time. That's why they cost more. Matter of fact, I have it right here on my knuckle. You guys can't see it. I'll get a picture of it and video it some other time. When I was first learning how to get this rhythm down, the way I freehand sharpen now, I would slip off the stone, and when I come back in, I would stab myself right here on my ring finger on my left hand every time. And I had a buddy watch me do it. I was like, oh, that hurts. He goes, how deep was it? And I was like, well, that's the nice thing about doing it there. Not much on top of it. You hit the bone and it stops it. It keeps it from going real deep. And he was like, you're fucking retarded. He looked at me, he's like, you're stupid. You're nuts. Put it away. Put it away before you hurt yourself real bad. I stabbed myself in the hand here one time, required like 4 stitches. That was a long time ago. Wife and I only been married a little bit. I was using a Lansky. You guys that use Lanskys know it's got that clamp that goes in the back of the blade. It sticks out. It's wide across the back, so it's like that wide. And I fucking had a knife. I was doing it with a Lansky. I was like, man, this thing's cool. And then I got rid of it later and went back to freehand sharpening because it took longer than and I got ready to set the knife down, and the thing was stupid sharp, and it was the house. I was at our house in Japan, so I didn't have shoes on, and I dropped that knife, and it started to fall, and I'm like, oh God. All I could think was I need to catch it, and that frame landed on my leg, and so the knife was sticking up like this, and I jammed my hand. It was like, and I didn't hit a tendon, I hit an artery, a small artery in my hand, and it was squirt. And I'm like, ooh. I put my thumb on it and squeeze it, it would stop, and I'd let it go and start squirting again. I was like, I shouldn't do that. That's probably bad. I was like, ooh, cool. I washed it off real good. And I go in the living room, I got a rag on it, I'm squeezing it. I was like, baby, we got to go to the hospital. And she's like, why? I was like, I cut myself. She's like, well, drive yourself. And I was like, I can't, because I got to hold it like this. She's like, why? And I let go. And she's like, oh. I was like, no, don't pass out. I can't drive like this. I'll sharpen all your Ken Onion fucking knives. I don't care. I got the tools for it. You're going to pay me extra. That's recurves, Tontos, double-edged, and fucking SM100 blades they're extra. I'm not doing them for the same price. Sorry. It's just not. So... Here's the, I don't know how weird the news has been where you guys live. This is just us bullshitting tonight. I'm not fucking doing anything. I'm just bored. Daughter's still stretching. My wife's in there doing whatever my wife does. But have you guys watched the news lately? There is so much weird shit going on in the fucking news. Actually, I know what they're doing. They are making slime. Would you like to go see? But before that, I was thinking. So, in the last few days, there has been so much fucking weird shit in the news. Like, I get these news feeds, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So, I just got... Let's go back and look at this. Notifications. Police are searching for a machete-wielding man outside Scripps Mercy Hospital. There was a lady that got in a wheelchair that got hit up here near my house not too long ago, and they were like, the thing that made me laugh was like, woman in a wheelchair was hit and killed in Paradise Hills, which is where I live. It's this neighborhood, it's Paradise Hills. And I was like, wow. And then they say caretaker who was pushing her was fine. And I was like, I just picture her like this lady's being You fucking didn't wait good enough. And just pushed her out in front of the car. I'm just picturing that. I'm like, fucking old bitch. Go fuck, can't stand your ass. Fucking pushed her out in front of the car. Because, you know, you ever deal with, as much as you love family when they get older, you know, like you love them and you're like, you know, I think I'm gonna push them in traffic. I mean, shit, I think about that shit with my wife. My wife and I go on a road trip, and I'll be sitting there, and she'll be jawing about something, and I'm thinking about how hard it would be to open her door, cut her seatbelt, push her out, watch her ragdoll down the shoulder. But no, there's been so much weird stuff in the freaking news lately. I probably should watch it. I don't know. I'm going to wind up with a community strike and get my live, not be able to live stream like you LA Beast. LA Beast ate a bug. And he got a community strike against him. I can't believe that. YouTube. Logan Paul gets to show a dead body and LA Beast eats a bug. A dead bug. It's not like he ate a live bug. Surprisingly, as screwed up as everything else in California is, their knife laws are very, very relaxed. There's no limit on what you can carry as a fixed blade, as long as they can see it. There's no limit on what you can carry as a folding knife, as long as it's not a switchblade. As long as it's not a gravity knife, switchblade, or butterfly knife, you can fucking carry it in California. They don't care. And somebody asked me, "Oh, aren't you afraid to know the cops give you a hard time carrying a knife that big?" I was like, no. Why? No. It's a fucking knife. It's not a gun. It's not a bazooka. It's not a sword. Not running around with it like a hatchet, threatening people. People immediately see a knife. Oh my God, it's a knife. Yeah, I'm cleaning my fingernail. Fuck away from me. What's wrong with you? Calm down. Calm down, Skippy. I'm not trying to rob a bank. Got a rough spot on my fingernail. I have some big hands. That's Archbishop, but I can almost get the whole thing in my hand. I'm aware. I'm thinking about when I go to Vegas to wear a shirt and a tie and use Matt's Hummingbird as a tie clip to meet the Reich knife guys, because that's a Reich knife. People say self-defense with a knife is unrealistic. I think a cop's stopping it. I have news for you. All joking aside, I've taken martial arts since I was a kid, and I definitely could take you with a knife. If you've got, as a matter of fact, I did a demonstration of it at the sheriff's department back home. My dad, one of the guys said, all this bullshit, people saying the guy with the knife is more dangerous than the guy with the gun up close. My dad was like, well, it's true. And the guys were like, that's a bunch of bullshit. My dad was like, well, my boy's here. I was just happened to be at the sheriff's department that day, just talking to my dad. I was home on leave from the Navy. And he goes, the boy's taking martial arts. I guarantee he's going to cut you before you can get your gun out of your holster. And so what we did was we got one of the Asp red knives, and he got a red gun, and he put it in the holster. And I took the dispatch lady's lipstick, and I said, all right, take off your shirt so you got a t-shirt on. And I put red lipstick on the blade of the dummy knife. And I cut him 4 times, viciously, in areas that were going to be bad cuts, up under the arm, across. People don't know there's your abdominal aorta. The aorta comes down, and as it splits, there's a large area right below the xiphoid process, about 3 fingers below the xiphoid process, about almost that far below where you're aiming for CPR. Is the abdominal aorta. That's why you can do CPR, is because that large artery allows you to compress it, force blood up through the heart while you're actually compressing the heart as well. And so cut him across there, brachial artery, and up and down his ribs. And the guy was like, what the fuck? My dad was like, see? Guy with a knife's fucking dangerous. And this guy that worked there named Moose was like, well, that really wasn't fair. I mean, Mike's been doing that shit since he was like 8 years old. Mike's been teaching martial arts since he's like 6 or 8 years old. It's kind of not fair to throw this big dummy into the fucking arena with Mike with a fucking rubber knife and fucking lipstick on it. I hit him hard with that knife too. I left welts. But well, it's been about 45 minutes. I just wanted to, like I said, I had a couple questions I wanted to answer. I was able to do it. The strop thing, I knew I needed to clean up my strop. Those ones I had already brushed down and needed reloaded. About 17 feet. 20. I'm getting old and fat, so 17 is probably more realistic. 10. It's like, I'm out of breath. I take 2 steps, I'm out of breath. Fuck it. Just cuff me. I ain't cutting you today. That Spyderco Matriarch 2, that thing is the self-defense knife that I would say is an actual weapon. There's no EDC purpose for that knife. What country is that? Pro Paintball? It all depends on what literature you're reading and who's doing the training. And the bad thing is a lot of those guys that do some of that fucking training for the police departments are full of shit. Yeah, that's serrated talon. That's true. I've gotten to the point where I'm pretty lazy. I don't want to have to go I don't want to have to go reaching around. My stool's trying to come apart. I think I need to re-nail some shit. It is old. It's several years old. I'm afraid I'm gonna lean in it. It's just gonna fall. Then I'll have to be like, I fucking hurt myself. I can't work. If you're hurt and can't work. It's fucking one of them Aflac commercials. If you're hurt and can't work, who's gonna pay the bills? The 17-foot thing, if you're within 17 feet, I'm going to cut you before you can clear leather and shoot me. If I have a knife, I am more dangerous to you within 17 feet than if I had a gun. So I'm going to get to you, and the likelihood is you're not going to see it coming because the time it takes you to even react, I'm already moving, I've already got the knife, and I'm going to lay a vicious, well-placed cut someplace critical. Vinny, did you not hear the first conversation we just had? Where were you? Were you sleeping? You're a moderator. You're supposed to listen to these things. If you're up against a guy that's taken martial arts for any significant amount of time, you're fucked. That's just all there is to it. If he's got a knife and he's coming after you, you're going to get cut. A lot of places it's 21. Better to err on the side of safety and caution. We're gonna go in and see what my daughter's up to. I think they're making slime. How was that, guys? Did you like that ride? You guys fell on the fucking floor.
Don't watch! This is a catastrophe! I'm sorry, slime lovers.
Did the slime not come out as it was supposed to?
Yeah.
What's missing?
I don't know! See that?
I smell shaving cream. Yeah. Oh, yeah. What shaving cream did you guys use?
We use shaving foam.
Shaving foam, Opti-Free, baking soda, with my wine, and
this,
and glue.
And
aren't you supposed to use borax? Not baking soda, it's borax, isn't it?
No.
I want to use
Borax and water acts like this. Tide acts like this. This acts like this. Why did I say
They're making slime.
First time. No. This one, that one's coming together. This one's a catastrophe.
You gonna put some colors in it?
No.
I don't have it.
Yeah, we do. It's in that drawer.
I dump it.
Isabel, don't. You've got slime all over you. You're gonna have to take another shower.
No, I don't.
Yeah, you've got slime all over your arms and down your arms and stuff.
Only on my hands. And there. She's gonna like throw the slime across the room. That's what's gonna happen. I can predict the future, you know, peoples. Mama, what are you doing? You have to go like this. You don't
Do
even.
your stuff.
Mom, that doesn't work.
Put some more in it. Like, actually put some in it.
No.
Yeah.
Too much. It makes it dirty. No, Papa, no. I don't want you getting
Mix
your
it.
hands dirty.
Mix it.
We already have our hands dirty.
Yeah, they did. They used to. Huh?
Mix, whatever mix it. It need a mix it.
Yep, I'm done. I'm doing a YouTube feed.
Goodbye. Goodbye, YouTube.
They used a lot of glue.
Not really.
Did you get the recipe off the internet? Or are you just shooting from the hip? You just kind of make it up?
YouTube.
Here's the
But
worst.
everybody.
Hi, Sabado.
5 seconds. Ooh.
I know, right? I should probably go back outside. Do you guys want to see the Sabenza now that I refinished it? Bird already saw it. It's kind of dirty, but let's get it over here in the light. I got some oil and stuff on it. Statue of Liberty. My dog is not Japanese, but Sabado is. That's a friend's dog. Ne Sabado. Ne Sabado. Hey. Hi, bud. Hi,
I've
buddy.
been doing this for a while, you know. This is hard work.
Smells good in here. You know what it smells like?
Shaving cream.
It smells like, I remember when I was a kid and my grandfather would shave.
You go like this, you know. Oh, wait. Where's
Yeah,
the use
I gotcha. Anyway, all right, guys.
Put it on my face.
Anyway, guys, that's the end of it. I'm going to come in. I'm going to probably watch one of Bird's YouTube videos. I don't watch TV anymore. Either that or I'm going to play Sniper Elite. It's a fun game. But yeah, lots of deer.
Look at that. Look.
Careful living.
Because you're living in a long time.
All right, guys. You guys take it easy. I suppose I should shave. I did dish sharpen this. All right, guys. You guys take it easy, and I will talk to you later. See you next time.